Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me again, hope you're well. You know, I had a message from a fellow YouTuber a couple of days ago, Van Man Talks. You might have heard of him. Well, he did this video about Reform UK. And the message to me was, can you have a look at this video? And I'd really like to know what you think. And he also messaged me as well and said, you know, he's trying to understand in his own mind why reform is so attractive. Good question, isn't it? You could ask that about any political party that you're looking at voting for. Well, the video was quite good. I mean, Van Man Talks is far down the other end of the political spectrum to what I am. At least I get the impression. But he says, you know, have you actually looked at reform's policies? Have you actually understood what reform stand for? And he talks a lot about the NHS, talks a lot about healthcare, and, you know, the proposed voucher system they're talking about if you can't get in to see a doctor in due time. And he's very concerned that it could be a sideways slip into abandoning the NHS and going completely private. Now, I've had relatives work for the NHS over the last 20 or 30 years, and there's been signs of privatising bits of it over the course of successive governments. So I believe that that's probably the end goal anyway, because the NHS in its current form has got big problems. I think we can all see that. Then he says about immigration. It's all about immigration. Well, you know, he's done a reaction video where I've spoken about this before. And if you have somebody with value who can offer skills and offer something to the country, yeah, come in once our own have been taken care of. But what we can't have is an uncontrolled flow coming over the channel, no matter what your view is on it. It's not great. And, you know, Nigel goes, it's the immigration election, it's the immigration election. Well, that leads me into my last point. Why? Why vote reform? Why not stick with the same old Conservative and Labour? Why vote reform? Well, I can best explain it by going from my point of view. If you look at the last 14 years of Labour, Conservative, they're all the bleeding same these days, easy confusion. We've been failed. Public services aren't great. Crime isn't great. Cost of living isn't great. That's 14 years. If you look at pre-2010, over the Labour government, they left a note in the drawer, didn't they, saying there's no money left. What did they do with it all? Whatever side of the fence you sit on, the right or the left, Conservatives or Labour, it's quite obvious that we've got a problem in this country with our political discourse. And all they do is just pass the baton from one side to the other over the years. Well, that system doesn't work anymore. And hasn't for quite some time, a number of years. And what people are after is a change. They recognise, or at least I do, that the system is broken. And all of this, if you vote for reform, you get Labour. If you vote for Conservative, you get more of the same. They've rolled this out year upon year to try and make people vote how they want them to vote. Well, we can't do it anymore. We can't accept that status quo anymore. We need change. We need hope of something better. We need hope that it can be fixed. Our country can be fixed. And to a lot of people, and the way he drives the crowds, Nigel Farage in reform is that hope. I mean, you look at the reaction with the membership levels when he became leader. flew through the roof, didn't they? That's what people want, hope. In my view, you've got two choices. You either vote for a new party who can offer that hope, do something, or you write, I do not consent on the ballot paper. Now, no more can people sit down and accept the status quo. No more can people sit down and just carry on voting the same old tired too. If you want to do that, that's your choice. But it's just my opinion for what it's worth. Hope. And, you know, when people look for hope, they look for hope in individuals, they look for hope in organisations. And sometimes they can be blindsided to truths, facts. All they see is an individual or an organisation that can save them. And I think that's the case here. Anyway, Van Man Talks. Go and have a look. You know, he does some quite in-depth analysis of different subject areas, different videos, albeit from a slightly different political spin. Although I did see in his reform video, which I'll leave a link in the description below, he did agree with some of the things that come out and said, you know, this has certainly got some legs in it. So that was interesting. Anyway, I'm off. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And as always, if you're on social media, I wouldn't mind a share. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.